This creamy garlic lemon pasta takes about 15 minutes to cook, it tastes absolutely incredible, and it's super cheap to make. Before we get started, please smash that like button, it helps me out more than you'd think. The first thing to do is place a large pot of water over a high heat, put on a lid, and then just allow it to come to a boil. In the meantime, we're going to prepare the rest of the ingredients. Here I have one bulb of garlic, just going to lay it on its side and then push down to crush it. This will just remove the cloves a lot easier. And for this recipe, we're going to need 4 large cloves. Before we peel them, I do recommend removing the woody tips. This bit can be quite hard in the actual pasta that we're going to cook. You don't want to eat these. And then another easy way to peel these is just lay the side of your knife, blades facing down, and then just push down to crush. This will allow the peels to come off a lot easier. And all garlic is different. Some are sticky, some are not. And some methods work and some methods don't. So just do whatever's easiest for you. As for the garlic, now that it's been peeled, I'm going to thinly slice it. I feel this method works perfectly in this type of pasta, but you can definitely chop it or give it a mince on a microplane. It is completely up to you. Next is 1 whole lemon. We're going to need the zest and the juice from this, and an easy way to start is to remove one end. This is going to allow it to sit flat on the bench without it wobbling around. Then we're going to slice off the zest of the whole lemon, just being very gentle with this, just because we're going to have to go on an angle, and try your best to remove as little as the pith as possible. But it doesn't matter too much because I will show you how to remove any extra pith later on. With that done, we can then lay the lemon on its side again and then slice this in half. We are only going to need the juice from half of this. And then like I said before, if you do have a little bit of pith on there, just lay it flat and then just very gently slice it off. With the cleaned peels, these can then be thinly sliced into the julienne cut, also known as the matchstick cut or thinly sliced, and you don't have to do this either, you can use a microplane to just remove the zest that way, but this way I find is a lot better, and I'm actually going to use some of this as a garnish later on. As for the leftover lemon, we are only going to need the juice from half of this. You can save the other half for a dish or a drink, and we can use a citrus juicer or squeeze this by hand, just make sure that there's no seeds. Last but not least is a completely optional ingredient, which is 10 grams of curly or flat leaf parsley. The choice is yours if you wanted to use it, and we can just give this a rough chop. Just make sure there's no large leaves or stems, and this is going to be used in the pasta to finish it off to add freshness, as well as a garnish at the very end. But like I said, it is completely optional. Alright, going back to our water that's now at a rolling boil, remove the lid and generously season with salt. I actually use rock salt for this, and I'm going to add in 400 grams of spaghetti, but you can use any pasta of your choice. I find spaghetti is the best option for this. And then just cook this for 1 minute less than the packet instructions, just until it's al dente. Next, place a large pan over a medium-high heat, add in 1 tablespoon of olive oil as well as 1.5 tablespoons of unsalted butter. Allow that to melt, then add in the garlic along with a pinch of sea salt flakes, and then mix this around and just gently fry this off for about 1 minute. Don't let the garlic brown too much though, because it will become really bitter, and honestly, I made this recipe before. It was one of the recipes that I had to cancel. I put the garlic on a little bit too long, and it just completely ruined the dish, so please don't do that. Next to go in is the thinly sliced lemon zest. I have taken out a few strands to be used as a garnish, and we're also going to add in all of that lemon juice, and then we're just going to continue cooking this for about another 1 minute, mixing it around occasionally just to get that lemon juice to slightly reduce, which will enhance the flavour and obviously get that garlic infusion into it. Add in 1 cup of thickened cream or any cream with a fat percentage of about 36%, then we're going to season to taste with cracked black pepper, 20 cracks worth. Let's then give this a really good mix through so those flavours can become friends. Obviously that garlic can then infuse into the cream as well as that lemon. Then we're going to bring this to a light boil, reduce the heat to low, and then just allow this to simmer and slightly reduce, which will allow it to thicken, just for the remaining time that the pasta is cooking, or until it's al dente. With the pasta al dente, this can be transferred straight from the pot out of the water into the sauce. The starch within the pasta water will actually help the sauce stick to the pasta, so it doesn't matter if you bring along a little bit with it. And you can also drain this through a sieve, it is completely up to you. With the pasta now in, add in the curly parsley or flat leaf parsley if you're using it, and you can save a little bit as a garnish for later on. And then just fold everything together and cook this for 1 final minute, which will help the pasta finish off cooking and allow that sauce to thicken up and coat that pasta really well. Then remove it from the stovetop. Serve it up however you like, in bowls, plates, or if you can't wait, just eat it straight out of the pan. It's completely up to you. Just make sure you stack it nice and high, and this recipe serves about 2 to 3 people. Like I said, I left aside a few of those strands of that lemon zest to use as a garnish, and I'm also going to garnish it with any leftover flat leaf parsley or curly parsley. And make sure you grate over some fresh Parmesan cheese on this. It tastes absolutely incredible and goes really well with a pasta like this. It also helps balance out the acidity from the lemon. Be sure to hit it up with some cracked black pepper. Use however much you want. But with all of that done, we are then left with this beautiful creamy garlic lemon pasta that is the absolute perfect treat for any time of the year. All that's left to do is obviously make this all worthwhile, and that is, we can then dig in. The flavour in that is absolutely beautiful. It's fresh, it's cheap, it's easy, and absolutely delicious. This is a video that I did mess up a couple of weeks back. I made it with too much lemon, it was over the top. But this right here is the perfect balance, and I can't wait for you to try it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.